Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Wildcat Rewind, our inside look at Villanova athletics. As today, we're chatting with our Villanova women's swimming team, looking at some of the more memorable moments from the 2019-20 season. I'm Nick Montana. It's great to have you with us. We're joined by four of our swimmers from our women's swimming team at Villanova. Kelly Montesi from Greenwich, Connecticut, her sophomore. Nicole Welch, finishing her sophomore year from Beverly, Massachusetts in the Boston area. Grace Wielar is with us from Richmond, Virginia. And Milly Routledge across the pond in the UK, just finished her junior season. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Great to see everybody out of the pool, I guess. And Kelly, how much fun was this past season? All Big East you were in 7 events. You set 3 home pool records. How enjoyable was this past season?
Yeah, this past season was really enjoyable. We had a great dual meet season, which motivated us for the Big East. And every day going into practice, all having the same goals was super motivating. And working together with your team is always a fun time.
Yeah, I bet. And Nicole, all Big East this season. How did it feel for the team to bring home their 7th straight Big East championship?
I mean, it feels great. I was a part of only 2 of those, but the team just has such a positive attitude that just carries on like throughout all seasons. Like people from who won like the first one out of like the 7 are like still like cheering us on even now, so everyone's kind of a part of like the same thing, and it's so great to see that that time pays off and that we trained really hard all year and it just worked out for the best.
Yeah, that's great. Grace, let's hear from you. All Big East, what was this season like for you?
Yeah, this season was definitely one for the books. Personally, I think by graduating a really big senior class last year, that left a lot of big roles to fill, and I was really honored to be selected to be on 2 of the relays. So stepping up into that role was really great. But as a team, I think we had a really incredible dual meet season. We really duked it out to the end, like the last relay with a lot of teams. And I think that gave us a big competitive edge going into Big East and was a big part of the reason we were able to bring home our 7th straight title.
Mm-hmm. Milly, you won the Big East Most Outstanding Swimmer at the Big East Championships this past year. What was it like to bring home the hardware?
It was a little bit crazy, to be honest. I really didn't think that was going to happen, but it's just kind of down to hard work and being a part of these incredible relays with these incredible ladies, and using that as motivation for my individual races too. Was really helpful and managed to bring that home. So it was really good.
Yeah, no, glad to see that everybody had such a great season. Today, we're looking at one of the specialty races that you guys have been involved in, the 800 freestyle from the Big East Championships this past year on Long Island at Nassau Coliseum. First place, of course, just over 7 minutes, 7:16, I believe was the time. Kelly, you're the opening act. What's the key to getting off to a good start when you guys perform this race?
We practice our starts a lot in practice.
Mm-hmm.
The 800 free relay is a unique one because it's one of the longer ones, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really kill yourself on that first 50. You got to try to hold your energy and save it for later on in the 200, and just know you kind of got a ways to go, so you can't just totally go out and sprint.
Yeah. What's your mindset, Kelly, when you're in that first leg? Is it more of a faster pace, like you said, more moderate, take your time and pace yourself?
Yeah, it's a very unique position because like the 800 free relay is longer. It's a whole 200 we got to swim. And being first, it's an even playing field. So it feels like a little bit like an individual event, but then you got your whole team lined up on the side because it's a relay and you're swimming with three other teammates, and there's a lot of adrenaline involved. So you kind of got to tap into that like later in the event and try to like still pace it even though you're like so pumped behind the blocks, and just try to keep it like swim it as smart as you can even though you just really want to sprint.
Yeah, swim smart. It's good advice for everybody. Grace, what does it take to perfect this event? Is it team chemistry out of the pool? Is it communication on the actual event day? Enlighten us a little bit.
Yeah, so this race I think is super unique because most relays, you usually draw on like mainly sprinters, but because this one's a little bit longer, you draw people from all groups on the team. So Nicole trains distance, Kelly trains distance and stroke, and Milly and I sprint. So we aren't on like in the same training group every day at practice. So coming together really brings like culminates like every aspect of the team together. But yeah, like Kelly was saying, it's a super unique race. You can't just, you're really excited. This is the first race of all of Big East. So it's like all leading up to this. So there's a lot of energy going into it. So, I have to constantly remind myself, and I'm sure they do too, like, okay, it's not a 50, it's a 200. You can't just go out and sprint that first 50. You have to hold on, which is, hard to remember sometimes because you're just so excited. But
yeah, I'm so impressed you guys just pull away as this race goes on, showing your dominance. Nicole, what's going through your mind when you hit your leg in terms of making sure you maintain the lead?
I mean, I'm very similar to the other girls where it's like being like smart, not going out too fast because but I'm kind of different from them because I am distance swimmer, so the 200 is kind of like my sprint because I have to swim like the mile and the 1,000 and the 500. So this is the shortest race that I do. So for me, it's like kind of hard to visualize what it's gonna be like because I do kind of have to sprint it because I can't really pace it as well. But again, just being smart and being strong, just kind of holding off from all the other girls so that Milly could have a nice strong finish.
What makes you guys be able to outswim your competition by so much? As this race goes on, Nicole, you just blow out everybody out of the water, literally.
I mean, a lot of hard work. I know all these girls, including myself, we train really hard every single day. We come out of the pool asking ourselves, like, what made us better today than it did, like, the day before. We always want to be faster. We always want to be stronger. So there's a lot of adrenaline going on behind those blocks. Everyone was really pumping each other up. It was really just an exciting relay to be on.
Yeah. Milly, when you're running anchor, how do you take that adrenaline and steady the waters and remain calm and make sure you finish out smoothly?
Like similar to the other girls, like it is a 200, so you gotta stick to your race plan and kind of know what you're doing throughout, rather than just kind of putting your head down and sprinting. So it's using that adrenaline throughout the just under 2 minutes that you're swimming. So it's good because you get the hype up of having the 3 girls behind you and then your rest of your team down in the pool, but it's also that's what's going to carry you throughout the entire race. So you've got to kind of spread it out throughout the 8 lanes. So
yeah. And what's the strategy like to make sure that you stay with the lead and make sure you don't overwhelm yourself knowing you have a long day of events?
Yeah, I mean, it's sticking to the race plan, and having such a big lead was quite nice for me. The girls worked really hard, and that was a really nice way for me to practice swimming my perfect 200. So in a kind of a little bit more of a relaxed situation rather than being like head to head on someone. So it was seeing what I could do to practice my perfect race and then putting it into practice in this relay. So the girls worked really hard, and I really appreciated it, to be honest.
Yeah. Milly, why do you have the purple pink suit and everybody else goes blue? I was just curious about that.
I've always had colored suits throughout my swimming career, like growing up. So I didn't really want to change that. So, and it's easy to pick me out, isn't it? So
yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, that's your identity. Kelly, let's go back to you and tell us what the Big East Championships are like, because it's one of the biggest, if not the most crucial meets of the year, and the way you've dominated. What's it like there competing in all of these events, and how enjoyable is it for you?
It's very enjoyable. Like all swim meets, it's a longer one. Dual meets are just one night, but this one's like 3 days, 4 days, prelims, finals, and so, by the end of it, you get pretty exhausted, but the truth is, like, your teammates are the ones holding you accountable, making sure you're motivated, and just being there day in, day out with them and knowing you're not alone is pretty much definitely what makes it so fun, and just getting to compete with such a great group of girls.
Yeah, same question for you, Nicole. What do you think of the longer meets, the dual days, and what it takes to be at your best?
I mean, dual meets are, like, in my mind, totally different from Big East. I think dual meets are kind of fun, lighthearted. I take them very seriously, but I try not to, like, stress myself too much, because if I do, then I won't perform as well as I normally do. But then for this is when I really, like, kind of hone in. I get in my, like, zone. I have specific steps that I take before each race and different warm-ups for each race, because this is really the one meet kind of in the year where we're fully rested. We only have, as college athletes, we only have a few more shots. Being this rested, suited up, like, ready to go, so you really want to make it count.
Yeah. Grace, this must have been a lot of fun for you as well. It's always a fun scene, I assume, at the Big East Championships, isn't it?
Yes, the energy at Big East is, like, unmatched. The dual meets are super fun, especially when they're super close at the end, but it's like you take Big East, instead of having two teams there, all of a sudden you've got 5 or 6, and the stands are filled with parents and alumni, and you've got DJ 007 blasting music before all your races, getting you pumped.
Yeah.
But, like, building, I swear, it, like, shakes. It's totally different from a dual meet. It's hard. It's almost like you are so pumped up, you have to, like, control your energy so you don't, blow it all out right away. But yeah, atmosphere is incredible there.
Milly, this was a really fun season. Lots of accolades, more success, and other Big East Championships. What was the best part of it all for you?
I think it was Big East, to be honest with you. Like, it's kind of like, it's the end of our season, but it's like the crown of our season. And you can see all the different hard work that's gone into it throughout the different dual meets and mid-season and everything like that. And you can see the progress throughout the entire season, and then getting to Big East and watching people perform and seeing how well they all do. Like, and as a team, we all do so well. For me, it's a highlight of individually and as an entire team. So Big East is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, well said. Another great performance by our women's swimming team. First place, of course, what else, at the 800 at the Big East Championships. 7 straight Big East titles. Congrats, ladies, on another great season. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That's Kelly Montesi and Nicole Welch, Grace Wielar, and Milly Routledge from our Villanova women's swimming team, joining us here for the Wildcat Rewind. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Nick Montaigne, and we'll see you next time.